cook with me. I'm making okra. This is fresh okra that I had in the freezer that I had cut up and froze myself. And I am going to stir all that. See that gumminess? That's what people say they don't like. That's why they don't like okra, because it's too, like really, I can't even, what's that word? Gummy. So I'm going to stir this up. Those are Tabitha Brown, jalapeno, and cilantro sausage that I cut up that I will be cooking and putting in there. And I will be putting some shrimp in there. And then I will be putting a can of diced tomatoes. And I'm thinking about putting this corn in there, but I'm not sure. I usually don't put corn, but I feel like just making this like a meal with no rice and just eating it as a meal. So I want to make it as hearty as possible. And in this pot, we have put some olive oil in there, and I'm just going to stir that until like the slime comes out. That's the word, slime. And then over here I have a red onion and some fresh garlic. And then there goes my shrimp that I'm going to cut up in small pieces. So I'll be back. So I'm going to stir it. And you see all that? You're going to just keep on stirring until that goes away. It is going to take a minute, and you're going to have to do this for a little bit. You see all that? You're going to keep on doing this. And if you have to, you could add more oil to get all of this out. So just keep on going. I'll be back. So it still has that sliminess to it. So I'm going to add a little bit more oil in there. I'm going to keep on doing this and I'll be back. So this is still super gummy. Or I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon in here. That helps it too from being, that cuts it as well as the oil. And this is why people don't like okra, because they don't like the slime, the sliminess of it. But I'm trying to cook all the slime out. It does take a long time to do, but you just have to be consistently stirring and consistently making sure you're consistently stirring it, stirring all that out. And it's starting to come out. Turn this up just a little bit more. I'll be back. Okay, this is the consistency you want. You see how all of it is no longer slimy as it was before. I cooked all the slime out, and at this point, you still cook it a little bit longer. You add your onions and garlic to the pot. Lovely Mimi knives that I'm using. Stir this. I'll be back with the next step. All right, so after I have completely stirred the garlic and the onions in, got it all sauteed up, this is when I'm going to add my diced tomatoes. And I'm going to just add maybe about a handful of corn. Maybe a handful and a half of corn. I don't really want too much corn in it because I just don't want too much corn. But about a handful and a half of corn. And you continue to stir. And at this point, you are going to put a little bit of hot water in there. I used the can. I didn't use much. I just used like maybe a quarter. And let that cook for a little bit. I'm going to put in a few of these pieces of meat right now. I'm going to crumble this one up. I just crumbled up one. It's probably going to crumble by itself to get some of these flavors from the sausage into the meat. I mean, Lord have mercy. I put some of the meat in there so that the juices can marinate with the okra and the corn and the tomato, diced tomato. And yes, I did season everything. I used a little bit of Old Bay. I used some onion powder, and I used the seasoning pepper, and that is it. I have found that the sausage from Tabitha Brown are very salty, and it's a very high sodium count. I don't really think I need a lot of salt because that is going to make the salt. But if anything, I will put some salt in here towards the end. And I will be back. Okay, so after bringing that to a little miniature boil, we're going to stir it really good. And then I have some shrimp here. There's 8 shrimp here. And what I'm gonna do is take my handy lovely Mimi scissors, and I'm going to just cut these shrimp into little pieces. Don't mind the dogs, they want some too. But they don't get none of this because it has onion in it and garlic. And that's toxic to your dog, so don't give your dog onions and garlic. Monty, stop it. I got these shrimp from Costco. Pretty good shrimp. These scissors are amazing. All right. Put that in the sink. Wash your hands. Dry them. Stir this up. I can't tell you what this is called because my grandma just calls it okra, and she's from New Orleans, so she's the one who taught me how to make this. And she just calls it okra. So I'm just gonna go ahead and smash these pieces of meat. Rest of these meats in there so you could have a little bit of a kick. Ooh, triple. Gotta stir it first. Stir it up. Let that shrimp cook. You're gonna get some more water. You don't want it too watery. Well, I don't want it too watery because I am not gonna add any rice to this. I probably won't make any rice. I may make some brown rice. I'm not sure yet, but I don't want it too soupy. But like I was saying, some people call this goulash. Some people call it okra shrimp. I don't know. My grandma just calls it okra. So I'm not sure. But yeah, that is how that works out and how that turns out. And we will be back for the final thing. And we are going to probably cook this with the top on low for maybe about 10 or 15 minutes. Just let it simmer in its juices and get all good and marinated, and then we could eat. All right, we'll be back. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes, and this is what your stewed okra is going to look like. Stewed okra. And these sausage here are plant-based, if you didn't know. If I didn't say it in the beginning. It's plant-based. So there's no meat in here. There's just seafood. So if you're a pescatarian and you're not eating meat, this is the meal for you. Or if you just don't want to eat any meat and you're just eating seafood, this is what it looks like. And it's not gummy. And it's not, remember earlier in the video, it was very slimy. This is not slimy at all. There's no slime. There's no slime. See, there's no slime. Just juice. So, if you really like to try okra and you are hesitant because of the slime, if you do it like I just showed you, the technique I showed you on how to get rid of the slime, you will be a happy camper. So let's try it. Let's try it. Let's see if I need to add anything. All right. That is perfect. That is perfect. I did add some fresh cracked black pepper in there afterwards, and no salt, garlic, and herb. Both of those are very good to add in there. And so, yeah. Let me know if you want more from me on this channel and how you guys want me to make a video. Give it a thumbs up or a heart. Share it. Whatever it is that you would like to do. Let me know how you guys